What's up, and welcome back to the Womcast. My name is Nick, aka Loadedwombat, and I'll be honest with you, dude, I feel like this has come up so fast. I didn't post an episode last week, and the reason behind that was, dude, it kind of snuck up on me when I was getting ready for my 5-year anniversary with my wife, which I'll be talking a bit more about and all that kind of stuff. And I just got to this point where, dude, I've realized right now I'm in a space that's not very, very good, like content creation wise, and it's kind of stressing me out. And it's just this space where I'm like kind of a little bit paralyzed in the sense creatively. And it's really hard to get over. I've been in this space a couple times and I get over it eventually, but it's just a really hard space to be in. And I feel unsure of a lot of the things that I do. You know what I mean? And it's not really like I'm like looking for a compliment or anything like that. It's just, I almost feel like I'm a little bit overstretched creatively, and I kind of made this podcast out to be something that it really wasn't, and what it wasn't meant to be. And really what it's meant to be is for me just to do this and like start to release some of these things. And if people want to listen to me do that, then hell yeah. And if they don't, then whatever, you know? And that's kind of so much more therapeutic for me than being like, oh, I got to plan like a million things. I got to have like, oh, something really big right here and there and bada bing, bada boom, boom, boom. I think just talking through some topics, things that are going on in my life or things that are going around in the gaming space or whatever space, you know, I think it's valuable. So today, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to stay on track posting these episodes, you know, and I think we're going to find our groove. We're going to find a place that I like to be at, and I think you guys might like to listen to. And I think that's a good thing, man. But, I guess in the past, how I've gotten through some of these creative slumps is just taking like a day or two off and just trying to create something like that's like not live content. And so I'm probably gonna have to do that. I'll probably force myself to do that and just refocus a little bit. Really, what I should do is maybe take like a week off, but I don't know if I can do that. I just don't know mentally if I can do that, but we can see. We can see. I think that would probably be really good. I probably will. I don't know when, but I probably will. So, yeah, just a heads up. And I don't know what it is, man. The last week or so, I've been dealing with a little bit more anxiety. And as you can kind of tell, I'm a little bit scatterbrained even coming in here. But I've been dealing with a little bit more anxiety. Like my heart rate's been a little bit higher than it normally is. I've like kind of found myself like freaking out at certain times. I don't know if it's like many little panic attacks or something like that, but to be honest, today I got off stream earlier than I would normally because I honestly kind of felt my heart rate going up. I was feeling like, oh my, like, you know, kind of clammy a little bit, and I don't know what it is, man. I wouldn't be able to like pinpoint anything for it, but I just feel a little bit anxious. And maybe it's because I'm not creating enough, or I feel like I'm not doing enough, or maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know. But the crazy thing is like, I just had like some of the best times, man. My wife and I just got away for the weekend. We celebrated my 5-year anniversary, dude. 5 years is actually like, I feel like that's a long time to be married, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's been long at all. I feel like it flew by like crazy, you know? Back when I was younger, I didn't really experience a lot of relationships that stay together for a long time, whether mine or other people's or like my parents and that kind of stuff. And so 5 years just feels like a good, crazy, you know, little milestone, I guess. But we went to San Diego and we just got to like sit back and just relax. And we went to the zoo and did like a bunch of walking, which I think was really, really cool. The zoo is actually maybe one of my more favorite like amusement parks to go to. I don't know if you can even call it that, but I think it's nice, dude. You go in, you just walk around, look at things. You get exercise while you're looking at stuff. There's not actually that many things to tempt you into eating some like really crappy sheet, you know? You're just walking, looking at animals, and boom. The one thing we did realize though is the birds don't get enough love, okay? And I'm not talking about like birds from the UK, okay? So if I got any UK listeners right now, I'm not talking about that, so don't flame me in the comments or whatever. But I mean, you know, you walk around and you hear people, you'll go from like seeing snakes, or you'll see like a wombat, or you'll see something like that. And then you go to the next thing and it's birds, and you hear people go, oh, it's just birds. And my wife, she had this reaction. She was like, the birds need love too. The birds need love. And she was like, I'm going to look at the birds. And that was like almost insinuating like, I'm going to look at the birds even though I'm not interested. And I thought that was kind of funny. Like, she's so sweet that she wants these birds to feel loved in their cages. Yeah. She doesn't want to release them or anything, but she's like, I definitely want them to feel good in their cages. And that's a good thing. But we went there. One of the things we saw while we were there, which was really cool, was we actually saw bear cubs. Like, there was like a whole bear, they called it like Bear Street or something like that. I don't remember what they called it, but we actually like didn't even see it until we went on one of the tours, and they drive by it, and we see one of the bears has cubs, 2 cubs. And so we went back down after the tour. We walked down there, and the cubs were play fighting. I mean, you can't get anything that's cuter than that. These cubs were just like sitting there, yeah, tackling each other and all that kind of stuff. And it was just the sweetest thing in the world. For some reason, it kind of reminded me, like, growing up, like with a single mom and my brother. It reminded me of this story. This is so like random. My brain is on fire today, like in terms of bing, bing, bang, boom. But it reminded me of this story. We were at Burger King, and my brother and I, like, got in this fight where it, like, slowly progressed, you know? We were just annoying each other. Boom, boom, boom. Annoying. And then I, like, hit my brother, like, pretty hard. And then he hit me. But when he hit me, my cheek was full of air for some reason. So it just went like... It went like that. Like, it, like, squeaked like that. And we both started laughing because it was the weirdest sound. But my mom freaks out. She thinks we're getting in a big fight, just like right at the cash register at Burger King. And she freaked out on us. And it was like a really funny story. Like, we were super pissed off at each other, and we heard that sound, and we just started laughing. But anyways, they're just 2 rambunctious little cubs, man. And I don't know. It was cool. I unplugged this last weekend. I just really like... Normally, if I'm going to be gone for a few days, I'll prepare something to post, or I'll do something like that. But I just was like, man, I just need to unplug. The whole rat race of like content creation can be a little bit stressful sometimes. I've never once in my content creation journey felt like I'm doing enough, and that's hard. That's kind of hard. I don't think I'll ever feel that way. Like, I don't think I'll ever be like, okay, I'm creating enough, I'm doing enough, and the truth is, I'm probably not doing enough. And I'm not. But I don't know if that feeling ever goes away, you know? And so I'm really hard on myself. And I think I've been just feeling some of the effects of that over the last couple of days. Or at least the last week or so. Some anxiety and just... I just need to breathe, man. Just need to breathe, create, love what I create and all that kind of stuff, you know? And I just haven't been doing that. Just haven't. But back to the trip. So after the zoo, the next day we went to Balboa Park. But in between there, we stopped at the hotel, right? We had to get a hotel for the night. And we were at the Wyndham something hotel, and like right next to the water, which was really nice. And it had this elevator. We were on the 14th floor as well, like the top floor. Not that we were in like a penthouse or anything, but we just were on the top floor of the same room that everyone else had, you know? But the 14th floor, and then it has this elevator where it's like glass and you can see out over the ocean as you're going down the elevator. We actually were going to go down and get a carrot cake for, just to eat and celebrate and whatever, just like a little carrot cake piece or whatever. It ended up being a big piece, but that's neither here nor there. And we go down, like we get into the elevator, and we had Mexican food earlier that day. And so I was a little rumbly in the tumbly. I've been eating really healthy, and I ate like a little bit unhealthy. And it was taking a toll, you know. And plus, I'm lactose intolerant. I had a little bit of queso. Yeah, I had some queso. And so we get into the elevator, and I was like, we're safe. There's not a lot of people here. We're safe. I'll just let one rip. No joke. I let one rip, and it wasn't like a clean one. It just was like, it was smelling immediately, you know? It was pretty disgusting, actually. And so we go down, and remember, we're 14 floors up, so it takes quite a while to get to the lobby. So we're going down each floor, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and we go down like 2 or 3 more floors from 14, and the elevator dings, and it's going to stop. Now, if you know anything about elevators, it's a closed space, so that smell didn't go away. It stops, and I go, oh my God, someone's getting on the elevator. I go, someone's going to get on the elevator, to Jordy. She goes, oh my God. And then I look out, and it's just this family with these 2 kids, a husband, a wife. They are about to get into the elevator, and I kind of gave them a look like, hey, I wanted to communicate like telepathically to them. I want to be like, hey, do what's COVID safe here, you know? Do something that's good and don't come in this elevator. It's not safe. But do social distance. Is that still a thing? And they instead went, oh, great. The elevator's here. Walk in. And I'm like standing against the wall, and I'm looking at my path to freedom. I'm like, should I just get off right here and just leave my wife behind? I was like, I think I might do this. I really was probably like 95% sure I was going to do it. And then like the other 5% came in strong, and I didn't. And the doors closed, and I was like, oh, there was my opportunity. And we still had a lot of floors to go down. So we keep going down. It starts going down, and I look over at Jordy, and she's dying laughing. Like absolutely dying laughing. It's completely quiet in there. They're saying nothing. And I want to say out of the corner of my eye, I saw the like kids going like covering their mouth like, oh, God, you know. I want to say that's what they were doing. It seemed like it was, but I'm not 100% sure. And I just look over at Jordy, and I was trying to like break the silence because I felt so awkward. It smelled so bad in there. I wanted to break the silence, and I look over her, and I go, so, because we're going down to Claim Jumper. I go, so Claim Jumper, right? And then she just starts dying laughing, and she's like, don't talk to me. And yeah, and then I'm pretty sure the people just got out of the elevator, and they knew exactly what was going on, you know? They knew what was happening. And they probably knew it was me as well. It might have been Jordy, though, you know? I mean, look, in this day and age, it could be either of us who made a stank that bad in the elevator, but they were probably looking at me. And so that was a really funny story. I will always remember that story. It was just so funny. And we were just both dying laughing afterwards. Just good, like, husband and wife bonding moment, you know, going through turmoil and stress. And then after that, though, we went to Balboa Park. We went and saw the Comic-Con Museum, and we got to see a whole bunch of like animation type things, and just like really explored that museum. There was even like Pac-Man stuff there, which it was really fun, like a bunch of arcade stuff. Played a little bit of Galaga actually, and that was fun. And then we came home, but I mean, we just had time to reflect, you know, on like 5 years being married. I feel very lucky. Or not, I don't know, lucky or whatever it is, but Jordy and I both were saying this, like we just both feel very lucky to have married somebody like ourselves, I'm lucky to marry Jordy. She feels lucky to marry me, which I don't know why, but that we just get along in such a great way, and we're just a team, you know. And I think that's kind of the keys. If I were to give like any keys to at least get to 5 years, okay. Your teammates, you know, like you're on the same team trying to conquer whatever the hell you're trying to conquer in life, you know. You also need to expect the best out of each other. Like, you don't need to expect, like, when somebody does something wrong, you don't expect them to be like wanting to hurt you or expect them to want to go against you. You kind of like assume that they didn't mean to do that, you know. And you ask more questions and clarifying stuff. And sometimes it is that they meant to hurt you because you did something else, and you guys can clear the air on that. But I just think it's such a good space to be in. I think those two things for us have just been like, have carried us, you know? But I think also our personalities just fit so well together that it's just perfect, man. It's just perfect. We had a pretty tough year, you know, with Jordy's like stroke and that kind of stuff. But man, we've made it out of a lot of that. She's got a checkup coming up in May where they go back in and look at the like art, like they actually like do the same surgery almost that she had, but they go and look at everything and make sure it's all good and all that kind of stuff. So we're really kind of like excited about that, a little bit anxious about it. Like, I just don't want to get any bad news. It's actually the day before my 4-year anniversary of streaming. So it'll be 4 years streaming. I think it's May 6th, May 5th, something like that. And yeah, it's the day before that. So I probably won't be streaming on that day, the next day, because I'll take care of her. But yeah, so if you guys want to keep us in your, I don't know, thoughts, prayers, whatever the heck you want to call it, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. And we're excited to hopefully get kind of on the other side of this thing, In terms of my health, I'm down 195 pounds. I don't know if this shirt really shows it or not, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Like I said, I've been having a little bit anxious over the last like week or so my heart rate's been a little bit up, but I don't know. I'm feeling really, really good. That's 25 pounds down. 25 pounds, dude. That's crazy. And I'm starting to miss burgers less, I don't really miss burgers as much anymore. I think I like the feeling of feeling good versus feeling like lethargic all the time and feeling like absolute shit. And so I'd like it to keep it that way. And I'm not going to eat that stuff unless I get to a certain point. Like if I get to 180s, then I might splurge on a dinner, Might go a little crazy. Have a little bender. Might do it. And you can't stop me. Okay? You can't stop me at all. But yeah, so I think life stuff's going good. Stream wise, I'm like always conflicted of what to do on stream. Long term wise, like I know that if I play one game, right, I can make videos around that game. I can just be the guy that streams that game. But then again, if I play one game for the amount of time that I stream right now, if I do that every single day, I will literally want to throw my head through a wall. But also, I kind of like stuff like this, man. I think I'm starting to really get into some more lifestyle type content that isn't necessarily only gaming. And I think that's kind of when I want to start figuring out for my live streams. We've been starting to shoot not podcasts. Well, we have been starting to shoot those too, but we've been starting to shoot TikToks that are a little bit more like, there's a tiny more cinematic. And I think I would like to dip into that a little bit more, like some more skit type things, but not like cheesy comedy skits, but just kind of like applicable to my niche and all those. And those have done pretty well. And so I think I want to kind of like start creating in that field. I'm really getting to a space, like I'm about to turn 30 in December. Not about to, but in December I'm going to turn 30. And I think I'm kind of starting to get into a space where like I want to create things that can be remembered, man. And yeah, maybe that's a little bit of my stress right now, Maybe that's because maybe I feel like I'm not doing that. I don't know what I feel, but maybe I feel like I'm not doing that. And truthfully, I think I just need to figure that shit out, man. Because I think I'm creating well right now, but I'm just definitely not doing all that I could. And I just feel like it's just not as high end as it could be. Not like high end like professional, but like quality wise and quantity wise, I guess it's not at the level that I would want it to be at yet. And will it ever be there? Probably not. But yeah, the one thing I have been enjoying lately though is GTA roleplay. We've been playing. I'm playing quite a bit of GTA roleplay again, which kind of stresses me out a little bit too, because I'm like, man, I don't necessarily want to go completely back into it, but I'm really enjoying it. A lot of the viewers are really enjoying it as well. They're kind of like diving back into some of these stories, and I don't know. That's where it's conflicting, right? Because GTA roleplay is a very specific niche, and single player games are kind of another niche. They kind of cross over in some ways, and they definitely can, but searchability wise and stuff like that, it's just not as good. So those are some of the stressors. Is like, what do I do? You know, do I keep going down this route? Do I not go down this route? I feel like I'm good at it, but I don't know if I am. And yeah, and that's why I think I need a little bit of time to figure my shit out. But this is good. This is good because I haven't really gotten a chance to like flush some of these thoughts a little bit out and say some stupid stuff. And so you guys are kind of hearing the brunt of that. But I don't know. Whatever, dude. You guys get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. The games that I'm excited about coming out very soon is Jedi Survivor. I don't know if it's coming out very soon. I don't even know the date it's coming out, to be honest with you. But when it does come out, I'm definitely going to be playing it. I loved the first one. The first one was really, really good. And I hear that it's like 160 gigs or something like that. So we might have to get another, just a whole new computer for it. But I mean, that sounds good. That sounds really good. So that one's like, I'm excited about coming up. I don't really think I have any other ones that I'm like super stoked on coming out soon. But I'm sure that'll change once I see some of the different games coming out over the next couple months or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the only one. I can't believe that. I was so excited for The Last of Us, but we talked about that last podcast, so no worries. We also, let me think. I guess, yeah, there's really not any other games coming out. That's kind of weird. That's really kind of weird. Hopefully we find something else too. I do like playing the single player games alongside. I think it's good for TikTok lives, you know? It's very good for TikTok lives. And so maybe I'll be a little bit more like stern on doing those for maybe just TikTok or something, but GTA roleplay is very good to like get people into something together, you know? They're into that storyline, they're into seeing what happens every single day, and I dig that. And also Rush Hour RP is doing really well, and so I think there's a lot of opportunity for other people to find me. And so whatever, dude. I think what we do is we just swing for the fences no matter what we do. And I think you can't really go completely wrong with that unless you're swinging at the wrong fence. But then you just got to adjust a little bit, get to the next fence, you know? Hopefully you guys see that a little bit. I think that's something that what I've done through my life so far has kind of taught me is just do it big, do it different. And I think the rest will like start to fall into place. I'm really believing for that, you know, for stream and for content creation in general. And I really hope that it, I don't know. I just really hope that it keeps moving and keeps grooving, you know? We'll see. We'll see. But I think the core value of it is that I love it, you know? And that kind of like makes up for a lot of different stuff for me personally. Makes it not as like scary to keep pursuing or nah, it's still scary. It's still scary. Dude, there was some more news from Kick. People found out Kick streaming, you can open up tabs for every single like if you say you're streaming, right? And you have your stream up on another tab, checking in, making sure it's working out right. It's actually like going through and it doesn't look laggy or whatever, that counts as a viewer. And then if you create another tab, it also counts as a viewer. And then if you create another tab and another and another and another, it counts as a viewer, separate viewers every single time. So it's quite a possibility that, and look, I don't want to call out any streamers, but it's quite a possibility that some of these streamers have been just tabbing themselves out of freaking oblivion and they get up to like 100 viewers or something, you know? I think that's pretty crazy if that's happening. But I do know also that we, as streamers, we have some really diehard viewers, and they want to help us out at any cost. And so I do know that some viewers would do that. They would just keep tabbing you and tabbing you until you're like into the hundos, and you'll be like, damn, I have 100 viewers. That's crazy. And that person's sitting there like, I got you these 100 viewers, bruh. You know? And it's not real. So one thing I've learned is that anything that's not really like real tends to come crashing down at some point. So if that happens, or they like figure out their viewership issues and all their viewers go like way down, then it'll be a whole nother conversation. So, I think it would be interesting to see, but I thought that was a really funny story because you can start to see all these streamers like tabbing their streams into the next freaking, I don't know, the next millennium, or the next century, I guess, because it'd be like 100 viewers. I don't know. I'm not on it right now. I'm not on it at all. And then, dude, one of the other things I've been watching lately, which you'd be surprised. Actually, two things I've been watching. But first thing, I've been watching Timbaland. If you guys don't know who Timbaland is, Timbaland's like a music producer from like the 90s, 2000s. Absolutely killed it. They worked with like all the biggest artists and all that kind of stuff. He does TikTok Live. And I've been watching his TikTok Lives religiously because what he does, he's like a well-esteemed producer, right? Like crazy well-esteemed producer. And what he'll do is he'll go on TikTok Live. He calls it Timbo Idol. And people just request to join. He clicks on their name. They show him a song. And some of his responses to the songs that he hears are just so good. Like he'll hear like 5 seconds and he'll be like, stop. And then he plays like a little soundbite and it's like, and then he keeps going and he finds people. What's really cool though is instead of just making fun of everybody, there's some people that he like actually thinks are good, and he goes, DM me, well, I'll help you with your stuff. And I don't know if he actually helps them, but I think that's really cool. I feel like that's kind of crazy. Imagine you're just like a musician, you send in your stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, he helps you write a song or record something, or he does like a beat for you or whatever. That's pretty crazy. Well, I'm telling you, look up Timbaland on TikTok Live. It's got to be like probably like top 10 most entertaining TikTok Lives because of some of the stuff he says. And just like, he's got the camera like pointed up his nose basically. It's really not that high production quality, but it is just so freaking funny, man. It's so good. I've been watching that. I've been watching a few shows lately too. Well, I've talked about a couple of the shows I've been watching, but the main one I just watched, which it's actually not fully out yet, but it's called Jury Duty. And the premise of it is that there's one guy who's been invited through like a Craigslist ad to participate in jury duty. Like he gets jury duty and he goes in and he's with, a normal jury duty session, or so he thinks, but really everybody in there is actors. Like just, they're all like playing parts and making him believe that it's a real jury duty. So they put him into all these like scenarios, and it's just really funny. I think the funniest scenario that there was, and if you don't want a spoiler at all, then just don't listen to this. But there was a really, really funny scenario where he's like sitting next to a couple of the actors, right? And one of the actors goes, "Man, how do we get out of this? Like, what do I got to say to get out of this jury duty?" Because he has a trip coming up. And the guy who isn't the actor, the guy who it's like kind of all based around, he goes, "Oh, one time on Family Guy, they like said something racist to get out of it." He says that. And then the guy goes, "Oh, okay, all right." And then cut to when that guy's giving his excuse for jury duty. The guy who is like, not in on it, like the guy who was brought in from the Craigslist ad, name's Ronald. He sits down, or he's sitting there in like the audience that would be in like a courtroom, and then that guy's like standing on like the jury bench, like he's up there, and then they're like kind of pleading why they would be too busy to be there or that kind of stuff, giving their excuses. And at first he goes, "I have a trip with my girlfriend, I can't go." And the guy goes, "You can't," or the judge goes, "You can't, that's not an excuse, you have to stay, you can't go on the trip," or whatever. And then he goes, "Is there any other reason you wouldn't be able to serve?" And the guy like slowly goes like this. He looks over at Ronald, and he looks back over, and then the guy who's like not in on that it's all actors, he's just sitting there. He's like, don't do it," and then the guy turns back towards the judge and he goes, "Well, I'm a racist." And everyone in the room just like goes crazy. Like, "Wait, what the hell?" And the judge goes, "You're a racist?" And then he like kind of backs down. He's like, "Oh, no, no, I'm not a racist. I was just trying to get out of it. I'm sorry. And then, but it was so funny because the little scenes that the writers created for this are just so clever, and just put the actors and the guy who's like invited into just like the best situations, and I think it's just so freaking clever. So, Jury Duty on Amazon. You guys would freaking like it. Maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. But I really enjoyed that show. It's not over yet. Not all the episodes are out yet. But it was really, really good, dude. It was really good. And I think it'd be like fun to do something like that one day, you know? Like, Matt, it was really like Nathan For You type of vibes. If you guys haven't seen that show, it's kind of same kind of thing where people are into something they don't expect they're in, you know? And just see how they react. But it'd be just crazy to be. It'd be crazy to be the person who doesn't know everything's going on. I would love that. I think that'd be funny. You might get some emotional damage, but I just think it'd be really funny. But yeah, dude. So I guess that's kind of like everything that's going on this week. It's gonna be like too long of a podcast or anything like that. But I just wanted to make sure that we got something moving and grooving because this is meant to be this. And when I started this, it was meant to be that I can just talk with you guys about whatever the hell is on my mind. And we can just do that weekly. You know, maybe it'll get more organized over time, or we'll do another episode where it's live and it's more, you know, based on current events or whatever it is. But this right here is meant for this. So I appreciate you guys, you know, taking the moment to listen. And yeah, I'll figure out my shit, man. I'll get it figured out, you know. I won't be as anxious. I won't be as like, I don't know. I won't be as crazy, I guess. Hopefully I'll be able to breathe a little bit, you know, and just have some room to create and just do something a little bit different that people want to watch, man. So thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. If you made it to this point, come into my live chat and say, hey, Nick, you want a Twix? I don't know why I just said that. That just came to my mind right now. But if you guys made it to this point, make sure you guys go and say that. You can always write into the show as well. If you guys have any questions, advice, or confessions, you guys can write into the show. Just go into the link under wherever you're watching or listening. And I appreciate you, whether you're listening on audio or video. Dude, thank you. Thank you so much. We will catch you in the next episode. Love ya. So long. Farewell. And goodbye.